lost for words without my baby. Like, really lost for words without him. It's hard every day. It's easy for someday to keep it up, but it's really hard without him.
Emotional words from a family member grieving the loss of his nephew for months now. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Justin Betty. It's been 90 days since Easton, a 3-year-old boy from Moorhead, passed away unexpectedly. The police originally ruled this death as suspicious, but now even 3 months later, there's no further advice from there. Family members say they want answers. 9 News Team's Anna Ballweber went to today's Justice for Easton rally and shares more.
It's been a full 90 days since 3-year-old Easton James was found unresponsive in this Moorhead apartment.
Central District Saturday Rescue 2 responded to 1502 Billsley Boulevard. We just have a female screaming, "Breathe, baby boy, breathe." We're trying to get in apartment number 1502 Billsley Boulevard, Unit 12.
Easton was taken to the hospital that night, where he later passed away. 3 long, painful months later, family and friends still don't know why something like this could have happened. And now, they're demanding answers.
We trying to all keep it together. That's why we all want answers. That's the reason why we out here. We want answers to make it easier for us. It's not getting no easier.
Family and friends organize a rally, walking from the apartment to the Moorhead Police Department, hoping to speed up the process.
They're pulling up this morning here at Grandma's. They're really losing and crying in the car because it's so raw.
Raw emotions and bare hearts, walking in solidarity with Easton, hoping to get an explanation.
We just hope to get that phone call and that somebody will be responsible for what happened.
As the family awaits what exactly happened, they're remembering Easton as the loving, caring big brother he was. Family describes him as
loving, fun, always wanted to play. If it wasn't his way, he get an attitude with you. Like,
known for touching people's hearts everywhere he went.
Easton meant everything to everybody.
In Moorhead, Anna Ballweber, Valley News Live.
Just this morning, we checked in again with the medical examiner's office about Easton. They say their autopsy still is not complete, so the cause of death is still pending.